Let's talk about running backs here. McCaffrey up top, Mixon, Achane, Jahmyr Gibbs. Do we want to go back to McCaffrey this week?
I mean, I'm certainly not never going to be opposed to doing that. Obviously, he was a big disappointment, but only in the sense of he didn't score. He still had 5 targets and 19 carries. You can live with that. You certainly can, and I have some interest in that game. I think most people are going to go to Mixon, and I also get that. But Mixon's price continues to rise, rightfully so. Yeah, I'm fine paying up for McCaffrey, particularly if value emerges.
Would he be your top guy above 7K?
Um, yeah, I think he's still. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with McCaffrey. Yep. I was gonna say Achane, but no, I'll go McCaffrey.
Okay. I'm
He's
gonna go. I'm gonna go with Achane because it's
yeah.
McCaffrey and H. It's a two-horse race kind of for me. Achane and I mentioned this last week. Was he great? No, but he was good enough. He was in the winning Millie lineup. Like that's all you need to know, right? He was still good enough. His workload's significant right now. And you're talking about a guy that, you look at the weeks since Tua returned. 18 looks, 20 looks, 17 and 21. But the snap counts continue to hover or stay around 65, 70%. He's so explosive everywhere. They do use him on goal line situations, not all of them, but they will. Um, Everything about this guy is just fantastic. He can break them off. It's a good matchup. They're touchdown favorites. This Patriots defense is not the Patriots defense of old. And I think HN, the only thing I don't love is that I wish his volume was a little bit higher. I'm going to go HN, but I wanted to ask you one more guy up top. Well, two. Gibbs against the Colts, and then Mixon against Tennessee, only because Mixon's volume is so ridiculous right now.
I mean, Gibbs is just wild card at all times. He's amazing. You still, just I know Detroit has been working out, but no one can score like them all the time. Maybe they keep it going, but let's be serious. They're not going to average 50 points a game here. I don't know what to do with Mixon. I tend to think he's on the outside looking in, not because of anything besides the fact that his price continues to rise. I don't think it's the dream matchup. The volume's outstanding. The TD equity is outstanding. Just a lot to pay. Simple as that.
All right, so McCaffrey and HN, at least for now, up top.
Yeah, with Gibbs is just, you want to roll Gibbs, you know what you're getting. But even last week, he scored. He had a 50-yard reception, and he got you 19.
Yeah, and guess what? Montgomery had two touchdowns.
It's just really difficult with the Lions. Even it's tough.
Kenneth Walker, James Conner, Aaron Jones, all three of these guys. I think that's where we live in the 6K range. I'm going to go for a little bounce back performance here. He has not been great lately. It's been a while. Aaron Jones in a run funnel matchup. It is hard to throw on this Bears defense. It is very hard to throw on this Bears defense. They have one of the top secondaries in the league, top 5 minimum. You could argue Connor against Seattle. You could argue Kenneth Walker against Arizona, and I wouldn't fight back at all. But I think that price point on Aaron Jones is pretty good value here. They still want to give him the workload. He hasn't been super efficient lately, but look at this, man. Carries 19, 21, 17, and 15 over the last 2 games. Not a ton of work in the passing game, but they've played ahead in a lot of those, haven't played from behind. I'm not saying they will here, but 20 plus touches is very live for Aaron Jones against the run funnel defense in the Bears. This is a spot that I am very happy to get to. I don't love the passing game for Minnesota, but knowing that they give up some big games on the ground, give me Aaron Jones for a little bounce back. And by the way, this is a guy who has always crushed the Chicago Bears for a little extra incentive.
I'm fine with Aaron Jones. No problem about that. Guys, I looked at Josh Jacobs. I mentioned the Packers. If you want to go a different direction, Josh Jacobs' workload is still really secure. And San Francisco, man, they've got serious problems, but I'm going to James Conner. James Conner's just had a phenomenal year. He's 6,500. Price is more than this price has not budged. It's I don't know if there's any other back like this. Just if you look at his price this year, it almost seems wrong in the sense that this is his price 62. He started the year 64, 66, 65, 65, 68, 66, 65, 66, 65. He never moves. He's in the same range every single week. And I'll play him again because he can do everything. He can't be phased out. Just a solid play once again.
Yeah, he is. Very solid play. Envious said give up on Jones, Laffy.
Never.
His run is done, he says. I don't think it is. You know, it was only a few games ago that he had a really solid game against a good Detroit Lions defense. You know, against a good Houston defense, he had 100 plus rushing, 150 total yards. I think he can still get it done. I do. We're about to find out because that price looks pretty decent to me. Plus, Cam Akers, they're giving him work. That guy stinks. That's not going to last. All right. I went first at the mid tier. Looking down here at the bottom tiers, there's someone that really stands out to me, and we talked about him already.
Yeah, I mean, you can if you want to take Brian Robinson, I totally get it. But if you think Washington does what they should do, I think it's going to be a ground attack. And if it's a ground attack, you have to think that he is in line for all that work, all that usage. Sign me up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Ramondre though.
Okay. So Ramondre, Robinson. Who did you just say? Who was the other one?
I really just focused on those two.
Yeah. Give me Brian Robinson here. I like Ramondre too. Give me Brian Robinson, but we have to talk about Tony Pollard at 5,800 because Tajay Spears is in concussion protocol. And we saw the type of volume that Pollard gets when Spears is out. He's very simply underpriced at 5,800 in really any matchup if Tajay Spears doesn't play this week.
Yeah, balance always of volume versus efficiency. Volume outstanding, efficiency I think is going to be pretty terrible.
Probably, but very cheap price point, man.
Yeah.
Very, very cheap price point. And he's going to be utilized heavily, you would think. Either way, Brian Robinson is going to be chalk this week.
He should be.
He should. I like Stevenson. Amir Abdullah, if Zamir White and Alexander Madison are out, 4,300. Still impossible to do that.
I'm not doing that. That's just riddled with. There's a lot of ways that goes wrong.
It's masochism, is what it is.
It's just not.
Yeah,
not the answer.
I can torture myself without doing it intentionally. You know what I mean? We don't need to do that.
No.